So in today's video, we're going to be going through a lead capture system that we're going to be building for financial consultation firms. As we're going to be going through this, what we'll be covering is what the system is and how it works. I'll be showing you the back end and explaining how it comes together, and I'll be showing you guys how to connect the system yourself, since I'll be giving you the template to use for yourself or for other reasons. So basically, a lead capture system helps financial consultation firms to be able to qualify their leads and only receive high quality leads to interact with by asking the prospects that are coming through their website, or add a series of questions that qualify whether or not they're a high quality lead or a low quality lead. So what will first happen is, within the first part of the system, there's a chatbot. So that chatbot, what it will do, it will ask a series of questions to qualify if the prospect is a high quality lead or a low quality lead. So if the chatbot concludes that the lead is indeed a high quality lead, the chatbot will then pass all the information onto a make.com automation, where all the data will be updated into a database. And then once all the data has been updated into the database, what will happen is that the sales team will then be sent a Slack notification informing them of a new lead that has been inserted into the database. And the welcome and confirmation email will then be sent to the lead, confirming that the information has been received, and then they will then be informed on what's going to happen next. So a system like this will basically help the sales team with, one, only having to deal with high quality leads and not having to deal with a mix of both, and having to cut through all the fluff, meaning that they're closing more high quality leads than having to deal with a lot of low quality leads in the mix with these high quality leads. Two, the prospects get quick responses, meaning that the prospect to conversion rates increases and more trust is built up with the firm, since they'll also be receiving an email, and the email will be sent within 15 minutes of the interaction with the chatbot. And three, the firm gets to make more money, because now the only thing they'll be dealing with is just high quality leads and no more low quality leads. They're not having to scrape through all the noise and having to clarify who's the low quality leads and who's the high quality. No, the only thing they're calling is just high quality leads who are prepared to take on their service. So that will make more money for the firm in a short space of time, since they'll also be saving time along the way. And four, data entry is now organized, since everything is just streamlined and well automated. But rather than me having to tell you all of this, let's just jump into the system so that I can show you how the system works and where the value of this lies. So Voiceflow is the platform that I utilize to create like the chatbot part of the system. So for this video, I won't be going in depth on the platform itself. So yeah, first we have like a welcome message card, and then we have 6 buttons here. So with 6 of these buttons, these are all different conversational flows. If I could go to debt review, this is like the conversational flow for debt review. So debt review is like one of the services for a financial consultation firm. So yeah, this entire workflow is to qualify the lead for a debt review service. I've also a series of qualification questions, and once all of these questions have been gathered up and I've collected everything that I need, and the chatbot is now qualified that the prospect is a high quality lead, I'll then send everything onto this API. I'll get into it right now. So yeah, majority of the qualification happens on this block. So this is a condition block. So basically what a condition block does is that it only passes information that's equivalent to a certain value. So this conversational block, I've set it to only pass through a commitment score that's equivalent to 5 or greater than 5. So this commitment score, I set it up here. I allow the prospect to be able to measure how ready they are for a new financial strategy. So for me to be able to measure a commitment score, I ask the prospects on a scale of 1 to 10, how ready do you feel to implement a new financial strategy? And they give me their own rating. If the rating is greater than 5, then it means they're a qualified lead and they're worth the sales team's time. So since they're worth the sales team's time, what I do is, this condition block, what it does is it then passes them through to ask for their contact details, their information, so that the sales team can be able to contact them. I'll pass everything onto this API request, and what happens is, if the score is less than 5, I then send them over to this message, thanking them for their time, and I thank them for being upfront with the chatbot and providing the information. And we just close the conversation here. So moving on from here, I collect the system through these multiple intents, and then I send them over to a API request. So this is how I set up the API request. I added the URL, added the body, form data, and then I added a phone number, collected all the intents, and I added the variables below everything. So yeah, This is how you set it up. Phone number. So yeah, and this is how I set up the API request. So set up a post request and then add the URL here. So this is a make.com webhook module URL. You're gonna get provided this every time you add a webhook module on Voiceflow, but it has to be a trigger. So moving on from this, it's a form data. So I selected form data and then I added phone number, added all the necessary details here. So when all of this has been done, oh yeah, and with this conversational flow, what I did was I copied the entire conversational flow and I pasted it on the other conversational flows, and then I tweaked it a little bit just so that it can match the service that they're interested in. Since they're all the same, I'm just gonna jump onto make.com and then I'll show you the automation side of everything. And so within this side of everything, this is the webhook module. It's, as I stated before, you're just gonna be given the link to add it to the URL on Voiceflow. So as you guys can see, it's the same link that I added to Voiceflow. So yeah, it's the same link that I added to Voiceflow. The Airtables module, you're gonna have to have like a create module. But guys, don't worry about having to create like the make automation as well. I'm gonna give you this template as well, and I'm gonna give you the Voiceflow chatbot template as well. You're gonna find both of these systems in the description below. And so moving on, this is how you're gonna set up the Airtables module. You're gonna have to set up your own connection. I've already set up mine. So it's a lead gen chatbot records update. That's my base, table 1. And then the most important thing for this to work. So for this to work, you're gonna have to add in all the variables that you receive from Voiceflow. So this is all the information that I received through the API that I set up on Voiceflow. These are all the variables containing all the information inside of them. So you're gonna have to set them all up in the right places for your own Airtables database. For your own Airtables database, Slack, you're gonna have to create your own connection, select from list, enter channel ID or name. I selected from list, direct message, and then I selected it to send to me. I'm gonna showcase this as well. Yeah, so I sent it to send a certain message to me. So this is the message that it will send to your sales team. So the sales team, you have a new lead and requires your attention. That's how it will look. And my email, this is how it's set up. So yeah, this is just how the email is set up. And don't worry guys, I'm gonna give you this as well. This is how I set up all my emails as well. So this is the email that will be sent to the prospects after the sales team has received a notification after 15 minutes. So right now I'm gonna add like a sleep module as a tool. And I'm gonna set it up to be 300 seconds, meaning that it's gonna delay the automation for 5 minutes just to make that email feel somewhat more real rather than the prospect receiving the email like exactly after filling out all the information. So just to make the email have a little bit more of a feel in it, a real feel in it, I'm just gonna add this tool. So how I set up the webhook is just given the URL that it's just gonna put on Voiceflow. And then how I set up the Airtable is that I created my own connection, set up my base, selected my base. So on Airtables, I created my connection, I set up my base, I selected the table that I wanted. And then under records, I inserted all the variables that I got on Voiceflow. So it can happen that when you've completed it's and by the way guys, it can happen that on Voiceflow, once you've created everything and you've set it up, you've put on your URL for your API, it can happen that when you come here and then you're looking for the variables from Voiceflow, you're not able to select them from the webhook. So what you do is you run the scenario once, you wait for new data, you run the scenario once, you go to Voiceflow, you send the request with some dummy data so that all the information can be sent, and then you click generate, you wait for this, 201 OK, meaning that the data went through successfully. And the delay that's being caused here is being caused by the sleep tool, since it's waiting for 300 seconds or 5 minutes to send the email to the prospect. So now that's being said, I'm just going to stop this since I have the necessary data. I'm going to go to Airtables. You're then going to select all the information that you just received from Voiceflow. You're going to put it in the right places, you're going to put the variables in the right places. Moving on from that, go on to Slack. You're going to select the user you want. You're going to select, you're going to first have to select from the list. Select from list rather than entering it manually. Go to channel type, direct, public channel, whichever one you're going to select, and then you're going to have to add your message here. So once you've added your message, you're going to set up your tool. You're going to wait for that 5 minutes. You're going to set up your tool, and your tool is going to hold the automation for 5 minutes, and then it's going to trigger it after 5 minutes, sending an email to the prospect. So yeah, now let me run this chatbot so you guys can see this chatbot in action, working in action. So, oh yeah, and by the way, once all of this has been done, just switch this on. Yeah, just switch this on and run Sonara immediately. And once that has been turned on, the system is now running on its own autonomously. So let's go to Voiceflow and yeah, let's run this chatbot. Yes, say yes. So I'm just gonna say $1,000. Forget me. Tomorrow. I'm a primary decision maker. So, yeah. To be able to pay for my car. No. And James so that's the ID number. Yes, great. Confirmation. Review. Alright, so I have to switch this thingy off. So I have to switch this trigger off. Yeah. So yeah, now on the Voiceflow side of everything, just wanna confirm something here. Yeah. Alright, now everything's set on that side. So yeah, now let me run this test. Let's see if the data is passing through. Alright, continue from here. Yes. Colors. A rough estimate would be helpful. Pay off pounds. Then it's 12 months. least able. No, I have not. 8. See. 12 at gmail.com. JonesTalk@gmail.com. 0. That's okay. And now to enter the ID. So yeah, all the information is correct. I'm gonna send it off. Your email address, could you please confirm it's okay? Let me check. Alright, I'm just at gmail.com. Alright, so everything seems to be good on this end. That. Alright, everything is successful on the Voiceflow end. Okay, clearly there's an update there. Let me just refresh my Airtables database. Alright. Alright, introduction. Alright guys, so now that we're on the Voiceflow side, let's test out the entire system. We'll start here, introduction. Yes. It's done. Yes. Could you give me a brief overview of if you can reference have an account, even account before to pay my house. Also, to be able to least of with ease. No, I have not. 8. Zero. So yeah, just to confirm. So yeah, everything is good on this side. Could you please confirm the phone number and the correct information? plus 27 79 801 2345. 090 123 456. I guess it's correct. That review. Alright, so everything was successful on this side. So everything was successful on this side. So go over to this side and just check. Alright, so beautiful stuff, beautiful stuff. So clearly the entire system is working well. So I should be receiving an email within 5 minutes. So for now, for this video, I'd like to unlink this module. I'll relink it later on. So the reason I want to unlink it is because I want to show you guys the email. So just run once. And I'm just gonna go to here. I'm just gonna run this part so that I can be able to receive the email. I'm just gonna send request here, generate. Yeah. Yes, I should have received the email now, and I'm gonna put it somewhere on the screen. Yeah. So this is the email that I've received, and it mentions the steps that are gonna happen now that the prospect has provided us with all their details. So yeah. So that's it for our video today, guys. You can subscribe down below so that you can be kept up to date with the new systems I'll be sharing. And if you're a business owner and you want to discuss a potential project like this, or you're interested in a system like this, you can go down to the description below and book in a call with me on my Calendly link. And on that note, I'll see you guys on the next one.